What's up, everyone? Buckle up for a new episode of Tech in Check. Let's dive into the basics and complexities of machinery maintenance with engineers Rich Marriage and Tony Planamento. Join us as we meet with guests from the marine and industrial world to learn about the latest technology that keeps your equipment in check and working for you.
Hello, welcome to Tech in Check. This is Rich Marriage with Advanced Mechanical Enterprises, and I'm here with Terry Clarke.
Hello.
A longtime friend, and with Island Marine Electric. And Terry's going to tell me about Island Marine and what you guys do and some of the things that you bring to the table.
Okay.
All right. Tell me about Island Marine. Well, actually, before we would go there, you and I have a long history.
Yeah, it's long enough to the point where I don't like to share how many years it's been over 50 years. So
yeah, we're both New Yorkers from Long Island, from the same town.
Same town, same bus ride.
Little Amity Harbor.
Yep, a long time ago, 50 something years we've been.
Literally went to elementary school together.
Yep.
It's pretty crazy.
Well, elementary, middle, or junior high school and high school.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, and then we both grew up on the water.
Yep.
And probably influenced pretty heavily on our careers.
Absolutely. I bought my first boat when I was 14, and I can't get it out of my system so far. So it's what I love.
It's a painful addiction.
It's an expensive addiction. Buy to the shop right now. So it never ends.
So all right. Well, how about you tell me a little about Island Marine?
Island Marine Electric. We're one of the leading suppliers and service centers for AC power, shore power converters. We've been doing that for about 22, 23 years now. We design and build electrical panels that incorporate automation nowadays for safety and for convenience for the owners and the captains. We sell, install, service, navigation, communication, and entertainment electronics on board yachts. We don't go after all the customers. We can't supply and take care of all the customers. We go after the ones that want the job done right the first time and are willing to either wait their turn or I don't want to say pay a little more, but our rates are the same as everybody else's. But we do high quality work the first time, and we don't do a lot of advertising, but the quality of work is what sells us to our
so it's
our
all
clientele.
a lot of word of mouth.
A lot of word of mouth, yes.
Yeah, that's our business model as well.
Yeah, we find it better. You get inundated with the people that are looking for a fast deal. They want the best price. It's like, we don't have a best price. We have the price to get it done right the first time.
Right.
And when you buy through us, you're not just buying the product. You're buying the family, the company,
the whole
because we will drop things and run. Somebody comes into port and they have a charter and something's not working.
Right.
We'll pull a guy off another job and rush him out there because previously we'll pull guys off jobs to get to the other guy
because of relationship.
Yeah. You have to take care of the customers, and you have to weigh their wants and needs versus the schedule. And okay, we got a guy coming in here tomorrow. Actually, he's going to be up in Old Port Cove, and I'm dropping some stuff off to him. But I'm up there, so we have to take care of the customers. And that's
I'm gonna ask you some technical stuff.
Sure.
Try to stay with the technical side of this. Like, tell me, what is a shore power converter? What does it do?
A shore power converter allows a vessel that's designed and built for U.S. power, 60 hertz power, in either 120, 208 or 480, 277 volt, to plug in anywhere he goes. If he goes to Europe or South America, Australia, he can plug into the dock and take the dock power at 50 hertz at any voltage, and it will convert that voltage to high voltage DC in the converter, and then give him a pure sine wave AC output that'll run all his electronic equipment, all his equipment on board the boat, air conditioners, pumps, electronics.
And it probably
lights.
Offers some surge protection as well.
It does offer surge protection. It protects the boat against some surges. Lightning strikes not, but some surges. It filters the voltage, filters the power as well,
it's
so
clean.
there's less noise on it.
Sure.
The shore power converters have also been used for what they call clean bus technology. If someone's got critical electronics on board, like one customer of ours had a medical condition where he had to have certain medical equipment on board.
Well, that's interesting.
And the shore power converter was used to take the generator power and filter it to make sure it's clean going to this electronic equipment.
Wow. Like dialysis stuff or something.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Wow.
Heart monitors and things like that. Yes.
Wow, that's interesting. I would have never thought of that.
I never would have thought of it either until it was brought to us. Like, yeah, we can do that. So
yeah, you got to be
amazing.
pretty clean power for stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So that's interesting. And they're, I know we worked with you to rig one on recently. Boy,
you guys have helped us on a couple of them.
Those things are massive.
They are.
They're not massive, but they're solid.
They are heavy. They do have they are transformers as well, which protects the boat against galvanic corrosion.
Sure.
And it also keeps, you don't bring the neutral on board the boat. The neutral's created in the converter.
Okay.
You don't bring the neutral on board the boat for safety.
Okay.
So.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And why would you change one out? Did they?
Well, it's a piece
Did
of
they fail? Have they come out with a newer technology? Is there some advancements or something?
Well, advancements are being made all the time. They're trying to make the components smaller and lighter, more efficient. Although
I like the lighter.
Unfortunately, the transformers do weigh what they do.
Yeah, it's physics.
Yeah, there is some advancements coming out. We do offer 3 types of cooling. One is air cool. That's a standard. They have heat exchanger cooling, which we find to be the best over time, because it's not circulating the air from the engine room through the converter. It's not using the dirty air. It's using recirculated air through a heat exchanger or a radiator that's running off chilled water to cool the unit. So it's a closed loop. You're not using your shore power converter, I hate to say this, as an air filter for your engine room.
Doesn't sound good.
Yeah. So what we do is we recommend a yearly service where we bring the modules in, we take them apart, clean them all out, get a little dust and dirt out of them. We go back to the boat and we tighten all the connections and clean out the cabinets, get all the dust out of the cabinets, off all the control boards, and then we reassemble them, bring them up, test them, and he's good to go for another year. But we do highly recommend that yearly service.
That now makes sense to me. Yeah, keeping electrical components clean and keeping
if you don't
connections and
if you don't service them, we're finding that you get 8, 10, maybe 12 years out of them, depending on the condition of the engine room.
Okay.
But then what happens? We start seeing the failures just ramping up.
Wow.
The ones that are serviced, we're seeing 16, 18, some of them out there for almost 20 years now, but they've been serviced yearly.
Once you take care of it,
Yeah, it's just like anything.
Pay me now or pay me later, huh?
Correct. But it's a piece of electronic gear. It's like a refrigerator in a house or a microwave. You're going to get so many years out of it, and then it's going to get to the point where it's not worth repairing.
Economically viable to keep it going.
Correct.
Yeah.
It just starts eating parts, and
Sure.
it's not one particular thing that's failing. It's all the little things that are going wrong. And that point, you hate to say it, but it's time to.
And you lose reliability. You don't want to be on a charter or something and then have a failure.
Well, the charters are important, but we find more important is the owners of the boats.
Yeah.
They don't get to use these boats as often as we think they do. They're not on it every weekend like a lot of boaters around here.
Mm-hmm.
They're not on vacation all the time. A lot of them are still running businesses, running companies,
right.
And they get out maybe 10, 12 weeks a year. And when he gets to the boat, it has to work.
Yeah.
And, okay, you saved a couple of bucks, but how much time is he wasting being on board the boat?
You can't replace
He's lost.
time.
Yeah. Your air conditioning doesn't work. Your lights don't work. The refrigeration's down. No. Fix it. So it's much better to keep ahead of it. And that's why we're adamant about the service.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, keeping those things clean. And do they have filters in them that have to be serviced and things like that?
Not really.
Okay.
No, the filters, the problem with the air filters, they reduce the flow.
Okay.
And two of the biggest enemies of electronic components are heat and dirt.
Yeah.
You eliminate the dirt, but now the heat's being built up because the fans can't move the air.
Plus moist sea air.
Sea air,
absolutely. Sea air is very corrosive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
We do some, I don't know if you guys offer this as well, but like for electrical connections, we do surveys on commercial ships using infrared thermography where you can see the hot spots. And
we've done that.
And I don't know if you have that as well, those cameras, infrared cameras. Or
Oh, yeah, we do. It's very important, especially, you talk about the vibration.
Yeah.
The vibration on a yacht, it doesn't just affect the running gear, it affects everything. And the main electrical panel, if things are starting to loose up, something that's passing 100 amps or 150 amps of power becomes loose, that that starts welding. That can catch fire, and fire on a boat underway is never a good idea.
We had a situation I was working with a major cruise line, and they ended up getting tracking on the bus bars, and it arced, and they had a fire in the control room that was being fed from a shaft generator that was continuously running, and it was arcing in the engine control room. So I can really appreciate what you're talking about with maintenance and keeping things clean and the dust off. I mean, this bus bar is literally tracked with dirt.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, when I was in the Navy, we had a fire in the laundry. It was just a built up lint.
These fires and lint fires common.
It's you're underway on a ship, and all of a sudden they call away the fire team at 3:00 in the morning. Wow. Yeah. It makes you realize how small that ship is.
Yeah.
So they got it under control, but
that's probably another thing we should talk about is like bonding, right? And bonding of electrical components and galvanic protection, and
that's very important.
Yeah.
That's very.
I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
what you see out in the field and what you don't see, what people can do to protect their boats better with galvanic, bonding systems.
Well, the bonding system is designed to pass any stray voltage to the water. It's designed to keep the stray voltage from causing problems on the boat.
Okay.
You pass it through a sacrificial anode so that anode will deteriorate over time, but it'll save your running gear, your through-hole fittings, things like that.
Yeah.
You don't want stray voltage around the boat. That's why all the pieces are bonded together. You see the green cables, and people see the green cables and they get corrosion on them, and they say, okay, well, it's still connected. That corrosion on the green cable on a through-hole fitting could cause a problem where now that through-hole fitting becomes a sacrificial anode, and you lose a transducer, a bronze transducer.
It'll get eaten away.
That's
on a fiberglass.
That's on a fiberglass boat.
Start getting on metal boats.
Yeah, you have bigger problems. Aluminum boats have bigger problems. But you lose that transducer, now you have a 2-inch hole in the boat.
Yeah.
That a pump. It's gonna be a big pump to keep up with a 2-inch hole.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. I think you're at that point. You're diving in the water and putting a bug on it.
You're putting a bug. Yeah. You'd be surprised how long you can hold your breath.
And I've heard stories of that, of people doing that.
It has to be done.
Yeah.
It's very important. People don't realize it, and unfortunately, nowadays what you see is the captains. They're not with the boats as long as they used to be. They rotate through 2, 3, 5 years, and they're on to something else.
Sure.
But in that time, they really haven't had a chance to go through and check everything themselves. They're busy taking care of the boat, make sure the owner
paperwork.
They're becoming more managers than anything else.
Right.
So, but the electrolysis, the electrical problems on board a boat, the electrolysis is super important to keep under control.
It's probably all the more reason to maintain a relationship with a company like yours on the electrical side, to have that continuity with the owner and the vessel. Even if there is crew turnover, you still have like records and history on the boat.
Keep a history. Yeah, that's very
because I see that we run into that as well. Like we're trying to learn the history of, has the torsional coupling been changed, or what was the last maintenance.
Well, again, it's tough because a lot of the owners switch boats too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the average lifespan of the ownership of a boat is, but it's gone down dramatically.
Yeah. People are flipping boats like they're flipping houses.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, you're right.
And
I mean, the good old days when we started in this business.
Back in the 80s.
Back at that 80s. It's amazing how much things have changed with electronics and things.
Oh yeah,
it's unbelievable.
When I first started, it was Loran's, depth sounder, radar.
Yeah.
There were no chart plotters.
No.
Now they have everything's electronic.
And everything's networked. I mean, it's impressive. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. You want to know where somebody was? You'd have to get out the maneuvering board and watch them on the radar and plot them, and it would, okay, now you figure out what your course and speed were.
Yeah.
Now you hit them twice with the radar. It gives you course speed, your closest point of approach.
I was at the boat show, and these guys were saying, you don't need radar. They're kind of right. I mean, the average boater, like a small boater, doesn't really...
In South Florida, there's 2 or 3 days a year you actually need a radar.
Yeah.
But you wait an hour, the fog burns off, and you're good to go.
It's not so much the fog. I personally like to see where the storms are and when they're coming my way.
That's nice to have.
And be able to run fast enough to go.
Yeah, that's nice to have.
But yeah, I can see with the radar. But these guys were funny. Is bonding something that should be? And I'm sorry I'm focusing on this, but I know you guys are good at this. So, is bonding something that should be checked every dry dock or every 5 years? What is like? How do you? When should somebody do an electrical inspection, and is that a service you guys offer?
We do electrical inspections. We don't do electrical surveys. We'll come out and inspect the boat, make sure things are tight, and make sure the cables are in good shape, things like that.
Okay.
We will inspect the bonding system visually.
Okay.
There's other companies that will do a survey of the bonding system, and they will measure all the currents going into the water.
Okay.
We don't actually do that part of it.
Okay.
But I would say at least yearly, do a visual inspection of the bonding system to make sure each through-hole connection, have your map of the through-hole connections, the through-hole fittings, and make sure each one is connected to that bonding.
Make
and
sure
the
it's
bonding
properly
cables,
bonded.
it's not corroded. The bonding system is good. The cables aren't broken or crushed. I was on a boat the other day, checking the transducer, and they've got a pump laying on the transducer, and he's wondering why the transducer's not working. Well, the cable's been sheared off. And you look at it, well, not only is the cable sheared off, but the bonding cable is sheared off. It's like, well, okay, this could be part of the problem.
Yeah.
So
right.
It's little things like that go a long way.
And or somebody does service or maintenance on the valves and doesn't connect the bonding wires back up.
Yeah, they
probably happens all the time.
A lot of times it happens.
Yeah.
So
So you also you want to talk about the electronics for the bridge control, navigation and things.
We do the navigation communication equipment. Again, you and I, when we started, it was paper charts, parallel rulers and compass.
I grew up using one of those radio direction finders, man. That was
you had technology. A lot of us didn't have that.
I remember being off Montauk Point in a storm, like trying to find out where the hell I was.
I was fishing out of Montauk with my dad one time, and the compass fell off the pin, and I didn't realize it. I kept looking, like, why is he so worried about what's behind us? Like, what's going on? What's going on? Then he points to the compass, like, oh, he's making sure he doesn't drift off course, and we missed Great Eastern Rock by, I don't know, maybe 100 yards.
Wow.
Like, wow. But if we'd been going the wrong way, Block Island, Nantucket, there's a lot of things out there you could miss. So.
Yes, there is.
So nowadays, RDF, you guys had technology.
I remember when my dad picked that up. It was a big deal. The New York Boat Show back in those days.
Back in the day. But nowadays most of the navigation equipment's come a long way.
Yeah.
It's all integrated. The chart plotters with the radar, with the sounder. The chart plotter, you can have just the charts. You can add the depth to the charts. You can do 3D. You can do a bird's eye view of your boat as it's going across the ocean, how deep the water is under you. Whatever video game some guy can think of, someone's going to put it on a chart, put that presentation on a chart. It's super easy. It's come a long way, and it's allowed a lot more people to boat with confidence, to boat with safety.
Yeah.
Now they know where they are. The radar shows what's around them. Now the AIS, they don't even need a radar. The AIS will show them who's around them, which way they're going. If there's going to be a collision, you're going to get an alarm. This boat's going to hit you.
Yeah.
So it's...
the AIS is really neat. I love to use marine traffic and see what boats are where.
We use it all the time.
Yeah.
We use it all the time. It's like, so-and-so's up in Palm Beach. Okay, we're in Palm Beach. Is he at Palm Harbor? Is he at, Rybovich? Or is he up at Old Port Cove? Okay, now I know where he is.
It comes in handy. You can actually walk right to the dock.
Exactly.
Yeah, it comes in handy.
Between you and me, I think technology's going to catch on. I really do.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how far it's come.
What do you see how do you look down the future on this stuff? Like I wouldn't have imagined. I think is it better integration? Is it more seamless integration? Where is it going?
The integration is becoming very large scale, where they're taking more and more information and bringing it into a single unit.
Okay.
You could actually get to the point where you're overwhelmed with how much data is available, like say, on a chart.
Yeah.
I don't care where all these other boats are going.
Yeah.
I don't care how deep the water is over there. You know, I want to know exactly what's going on around me, what's important to me. And with the technology, you can turn on those layers. You can turn them on and off to what suits you.
Yeah, I know
Where's
they're
it going?
integrating other stuff like the infrared. They'll put the infrared camera into that now. They'll do the satellite weather. Right.
Well, the weather is nice, especially for going to the Bahamas and all.
Yeah.
Coming back from the Bahamas, I ran into a storm one time. I didn't have satellite weather. The weather report was for 15 to 20 out of the south, and we knew we were going to get wet on the way back.
Nothing like you got though, huh?
And there was there was like a 20% chance of rain or 30% chance of rain. It's like, okay, we're going to get wet. You know, we didn't realize we were running into thunderstorms.
That's
and on a
scary.
small boat in a thunderstorm, like there's a line of them. What do you do? And to go back to the Bahamas? That was my choice. But
you did go back.
No, we didn't. We went through. We had to
You went through it.
We had to get back to work.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you
lightning's one of the things that I don't like being out in lightning.
But if you would with the satellite weather, you can see what's coming.
You can see a cell and
let's steer around. Let's steer around it.
So that's something you would probably recommend.
I would definitely highly recommend that.
The satellite.
Anybody going back and forth to the Bahamas, especially with the storms coming off the coast, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Do you need a special antenna? You probably need a special antenna for that.
Yeah,
right?
you need a special antenna. It's about this big, about the size of basically a coffee cup.
Big deal.
Turned upside down.
I guess it's Sirius or something.
Sirius
like
XM
that.
satellite radio.
Yeah.
And the benefit is you get the satellite radio, so you can listen to music over there.
Sounds good.
Yeah. One more option.
And I guess a lot of stuff's also going through your phone, and you can.
That's good to a point, but remember, your phone is tied to towers on shore. If you go offshore, you lose your phone.
Right.
You lose your ability to see the storms, communicate with your friends, things like that. Okay. So it's always good to have backup.
Okay.
VHF radio is going to be heard a lot further than your phone will. A single sideband, although it's very rarely used, even further. If you're going to be offshore, fishing, boating, Bahamas, things like that, I would highly recommend an EPIRB. So if there is a problem, it's one of those things where if there's a problem, you turn it on and
wear it on your vest.
Yeah, they have the person locator beacons you can wear.
You can buy one of those inflatable vests if you're in a small boat or something.
When I fish offshore, I wear mine. Okay. And you think to yourself, this is stupid, but hey,
But on the yachts, even there, I guess, if you're walking on the deck at night in a storm or something, got to be careful.
Oh yeah, a lot of boats. When the boat's underway, you go outside the weather deck. The captain has to know.
And that's good practice.
You need to know when you're back inside. They'll keep an eye on you with the cameras on the boat, watching the gameplay, the aft deck and all. If there's a problem, they want to know about it right away.
Are you getting into that technology, like videos and
we've been putting cameras on boats for years. Put cameras and digital video recorders,
videos and entertainment systems.
Yes, we do the whole gamut.
There's a lot of stuff.
It's great.
Wow. It's amazing.
It just keeps expanding, and nowadays with the automation, we're getting into more and more automation where people, if there's a problem, they want the generators to start if they lose shore power.
Yeah.
They don't. Okay, they wake up with the sound of the generator, but they're waking up to the sound of the generator. They're not waking up because they lost the air conditioner or the TV went out or something like that. They want to be. Again, they don't get to spend that much time on board the boat. They want to have it as good an experience as possible.
Right. So that's what it's all about for yachting.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you're out there. You're trying to have a pleasurable experience, right?
You're an engineer. You're a mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
We're electricians, but it's not the yachting industry. It's part of the entertainment industry. If we can't keep these people happy, they'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, they'll do something else with their free time.
And their money.
Go to Montana.
And their money, yeah. So they'll buy a ski chalet or a condo on the beach, and we don't want that.
Nobody wants a headache, right?
No.
It's something low. There's nothing like being on the water, right?
I tell you what.
It's nothing like being on the water.
This is where all the automation people want.
The switchboards have gotten pretty sophisticated where you can, so you have power management features. You have, where you're automatically bringing generators online, offline, right?
Yeah, what you're doing is when the boat leaves, get ready to leave the dock, you're on shore power. You'll set the panel up. Okay, I'm going to use this generator as my primary.
Yeah.
This is in standby.
Master, slave.
If there's a problem with this one's going to start automatically. And then what'll happen is if things just work normally, in 10 hours, we're going to switch to this one. Or some boats have different size generators. During the day, we're going to run this one. When everyone goes to sleep, we're dropping back to the small one because we don't need to burn that power.
Harbor generator or something.
A harbor or a night generator. And what'll happen is it'll save fuel, but it'll also save the generator, because if you don't have enough load on that generator, it's not burning all that fuel. It's running at 1,800 or 1,500 RPM. It's spitting fuel out the exhaust.
Yeah.
It's not getting up to temperature.
The newer units are a little better because they're the high pressure injection.
Yeah, but it's still not
common rail injection.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, with the electronic fuel injection, but it's not as good as it is running the generator
under
load at temperature.
An engine's optimized to be at a certain load. Yeah.
Correct. So with
thermodynamics,
with that we can do the load on the generators. It's all through the technology. We're monitoring the loads, the temperatures, the speeds, things like that, and then we will switch it over to a smaller generator if they have one on board, or if the boat is designed with under heavy load, they run both. He gets up to 90% or 95%, we'll start the other generator, bring it online, warm it up, and then we'll parallel, and then it'll run in parallel so that they'll both be balanced.
So it's really advantageous to upgrade your switchboard.
It is.
You can optimize your power, you can optimize your generators, syncing, and all that stuff, which you can't do with the older switchboards didn't do.
You're using a synchroscope. You're using a rheostat and a synchroscope, trying to get the generators lined up,
in.
And then for that fraction of a second, you throw the switch,
throw the breaker,
clunk, and the lights.
That's what I did that on steam turbines, man.
The lights flicker.
Yeah, lights flicker.
Lights flicker. Everyone looks at you like, "What'd you do?" Like, it's working. Yeah. It's working. Oh yeah.
Clocking.
Oh yeah. Got to make sure they go.
Yeah.
They come. That comes
but
up.
Switchboards are. I mean, when do you decide a switchboard's obsolete? Like when you just can't get parts anymore?
Well, there's certain parts like breakers. Some of the older breakers they don't make anymore. There's breakers that are smaller that can do the same thing. Usually we can retrofit to a point.
Okay.
But at what point? It's usually based on the amount of corrosion and physical damage.
Okay.
If there's a lot of corrosion in there, it's not safe. It's not safe to
switchboard fires.
Yeah, you get an electrical fire, and it takes everything out. You don't want that. You want to keep it clean.
It's a nerve center.
Yeah. We've got one customer. Once a year we clean the switchboard, make sure it's clean.
Oh wow, that's really.
Well, we got there this time, and the engineer had already taken care of it all. It's like, well, it looks like someone's already been here. The edge. I did that. He understands the dirt, and the switchboard.
You got to know what you're doing to clean a switchboard.
Yeah. So, but usually it's corrosion and deterioration of the product. If the components have to the point where you can't replace them anymore, then it's time. Then it's time for a new switchboard. And it's a big undertaking, and it's time consuming because you're going to be without power. At times, we try to minimize the amount of time you're without power because there is refrigeration on board. We understand.
Yeah.
Nobody likes their food to thaw.
So you'll actually take a vessel in service and build a switchboard and kind of keep it going while the vessel's in service.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
We'll design
challenging.
Design and build a switchboard, and then we'll when we're swapping things out, we'll try and do temporary power.
Right.
We'll even build a temporary switchboard that we can wire refrigeration, air conditioning to, so that the boat and lights that the boat remains livable. If the crew's on board working, or you don't want the humidity level to go up and the wallpaper come down, or the paintings to deteriorate. So there's a lot to consider. It's not just unplug this, plug this in. Nope, you got to keep the boat as active as possible.
Right. So, It's any piece of machinery is always better when it's running.
Yes.
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 So, tell me a little bit. I'm backtracking a little here, but tell me a little bit about yourself. Like after we I saw you through high school, and all of a sudden,
I think the last
Terry
time
went into the Navy or something.
I saw you was graduation in June of.
No.
Long time ago.
Let's not put that
Let's not go that far.
Let's not, but you can stop right there.
What happened then is I moved to Florida, worked down here in construction for a couple of years, and then I joined the service. I joined the Navy, and I joined the Advanced Electronics program. My rate was a fire control technician.
Oh, okay.
Well, people would say, "Oh, your dad was a fireman." I was like, "No, this is different."
Fire control is the button.
We worked
shooting the missiles.
We worked on the radars and computers that controlled the guns and the missiles. So it was all technical.
So, hence
this.
Yeah, kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I got out and I worked for Larry Smith for 16 years. I left there just before they
went out of business. They were the big daddies.
They were the big cheese.
They were the big cheese. Yeah, everybody.
I started there as a technician.
Yeah.
I was a technician for a couple of years. They moved me into sales.
Okay.
And for the last 14 years, I was in sales. And then things started falling apart there. So I started looking at other opportunities. I talked to boat captains where I saw other vendors' trucks.
Yeah.
I talked to manufacturers reps.
Mm-hmm.
And decide who's a good company, which is a good company.
Right.
And everybody I talked to about Island Marine said they're a good company. Then they're not as big as some other companies. And they'd see my shirt, the Larry Smith shirt, and say, "Oh, they're not nearly as big as you." I was like, "Yeah, but they're good, high quality people." So I came and talked to Greg, and he hired me. So I've been here it's been 16 years now. So
well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I know from personal experience, you guys do quality work. You have great technicians.
Thank you.
You got a good team here, and you guys do quality work.
Yeah, it's not just me. I'm just a face.
Well, you're an important face.
Thank you, but it's all the guys that the supporting cast that make things work the way they do.
Yeah,
a lot of guys behind the
scenes. Village, right? It takes a team.
It takes a team. It really does. There's a lot of guys here that bust their butts. This guy's. I think the average length of time for a technician is probably over. The average is probably over 12 years.
Right.
We got guys. Ted's been here over 30.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
that's some of the best and a lot of knowledge.
Scott's been here over 25. I mean, these guys, they've been here a long time.
We got a lot of knowledge base.
Yeah,
we have that too. We have quite a few guys that have been with us for quite a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people call us, they don't ask for me. They don't ask for, they ask for the technician. I need to speak to Ted. I need to speak to Scott. Like, okay.
Going back to this outline, which has been kind of jumping around, another issue with what's been going on in the world today with global supply issues.
You mean the global lack of supply?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Is that affecting you guys as well?
Absolutely.
So it becomes more important for yachts to think about before they come into a dry dock or a maintenance period. They really should try to plan as far ahead in advance.
We're seeing lead times that used to run 6 to 8 weeks on major components. We've gotten emails now, they're out 20, 24 weeks on major components. And you don't have that major component on your boat. It makes it, I won't say unlivable, but it makes it uncomfortable for people,
Well, I mean, it gets to the point where we can't even do the work.
Correct.
We're running into that. We can't. It's causing issues with us being able to proceed with the work.
We have a situation where a boat needs to be in a certain place at the end of April. And the equipment we ordered in January, we still don't have it all.
Wow.
So we can't, I guess we just started the work this week.
Okay.
But it's tough because...
Is it coming from Europe?
No.
It's domestic?
Domestic.
Wow.
They're just waiting on components to come
COVID
in from overseas.
really affected the supply chain.
Is it COVID? As much as, I guess, COVID things...
Well,
when COVID hit,
I mean,
things
it seemed to be COVID related. Plus,
when COVID hit, things slowed way down.
It was production
factory
stopped. Production really came.
Okay, this is not
it
critical.
takes time to catch up, and then
that's the problem we're running into.
Then you have shipping and logistics. And,
that's the problem we're running into. People, the desire to be done with COVID far exceeded the ability to be done with COVID.
Yeah.
Because things came to a grinding halt.
Yeah.
The raw materials, the copper.
Yeah.
Stopped being mined. It's like whoa. No, keep digging. We need that stuff. We got boats. And people need this stuff.
We have this conflict going on with Ukraine, and that's affecting, nickel. A lot of it comes from Russia.
Yeah.
So some interesting times here. But getting parts and supplies has affected us.
That has affected us.
So one of the messages I would like to get out there is that please
Don't wait.
plan ahead
Plan
as
ahead,
much
yeah.
as you possibly can when you're doing this.
Yeah, if you're coming
planning
in for
your
yard
maintenance,
period, usually we start getting orders for the yard periods at the end of the year over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
If you're coming in in October, November, and you want to put equipment on the boat, get the orders in because it's 24 weeks.
So you should start thinking about it like, all right, say 20 weeks, man. I mean,
it's 5 months.
Yeah, you're like half a year in advance.
Yeah.
So you really want to start thinking about this stuff 6 months in advance.
Yeah. Start.
So you almost need somebody to come out to the boat and kind of walk through what you want to do, what maintenance you got planned.
Yeah. Well, now the boats are probably down in the Caribbean at charter season. They're going to come back here. They're going to come back here.
They're going to show up and
they're going to go back here April, May, and then June they're heading over to the Caribbean, heading over to the Med. No, we're not doing your service now. We'll see you in September, October.
Yeah,
that's when we'll have the parts for you.
It's crazy, isn't it? Wow.
No, it's tough because it not just extends the work out, but you run a business. I'm in sales. We know how the money flows.
Yeah.
Now the money's not coming in until later. No. So all this time being stretched out, we have to keep keep the guys working, keep the guys trained, keep the inventory.
You have to keep things
as much
going
as possible. And then we're not getting the pay until 6 months down the road instead of 2 months down the road. So it's
a long lead items. We've had a good discussion here, and I always enjoy talking with you.
Good talking to you.
Good seeing you.
Good seeing you, Richie.
And I really appreciate our relationship work-wise as well.
You seem to take care of us. We're going to keep you guys involved. It's nice having somebody that knows their stuff.
For us, and I appreciate that.
No problem. It's good working with you. You got good people out there.
Yeah, and I mean, for example, you were helping us troubleshoot some of the electrical control issues on the CMC stabilizers, which was really helpful. So that's another. You guys do a lot of stuff.
We do. Like I said,
good techs.
We don't want to be everything to everybody, but the ones that want it done, like I said, done right the first time. That's Greg. Greg's the owner. Greg Woods. His philosophy has always been do it right the first time.
Which sometimes takes time. You can tell.
But it takes a lot less time to do it right the first time.
Yes.
Then go back the second and third or fourth time.
But you can tell when a real pro's been on the boat. Like everything's like all the wires are labeled. The cable runs are all like organized, and everything's tied down and not vibrating. You can tell when a professional's been doing electrical work. I mean, you can see it.
Yeah, we take pride. Our guys take pride in their work.
The cable runs are all nice and neat, and I really appreciate that. It's almost like a work of art.
Yeah, it's a talent. It's definitely a talent, and they're proud of their work, and it shows.
Yeah, it's good.
Because there's always someone come behind, look at it, and go, who did this?
Yeah, exactly.
Or what the hell is that? You don't want that.
Yeah.
So
cool. Well, hey, it's been
Rich,
a pleasure.
Good talking to you again.
Good seeing you.
Be safe. Talk to you in a bit.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good talking to you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening in. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into this week's tips and tricks for equipment optimization. Want to learn more? Head over to AME's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube included in the show notes, along with details from this episode. That's all for now, folks. See you next time.